Hi there, Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and I want to share with you 12 organizing tips that were brand new to me that I had never even heard of as of 3 or 4 months ago. And I watch a lot of organizing content online, and I've heard a lot of the same things over and over, and sometimes you just need something brand new. I'm gonna start with my favorite one, and I don't know why I hadn't heard of this before. When I just stumbled across this video and learned about this, I was like, that's brilliant. Why haven't I thought of this before? And that is, we've all heard that we should organize things by frequency of use. So if you use something every single day, it shouldn't be really hard to get to. It should be very easy to get to, versus if you only use it once a year, it could be much more difficult to get to. But we need to do something else as well. We also need to organize by urgency. So not just how often do I use this item, but when I need this item, how urgently do I need it? Do I really need it right now, or can I take my time getting to it? And some examples of this might be, for example, batteries. In my household, I would say maybe I use it once every 3 months, but when the remote battery goes dead and you need it then. I don't want to have to go through a whole bunch of hassle to get it. The same might be true of, say, an umbrella. Do I use it that often? No. But when I need it, I really do need it. Another example of this is printer paper and printer ink. I don't actually replace my printer ink that often, but when I need to replace it, I'm printing out a recipe that I'm gonna make right then, and I don't want it to be really hard to get to. So just consider how urgent your need for this item is when you do need it, versus let's say a cake platter. I usually have plenty of time to get to that. I'm in no hurry, and if I'm only using it once a year, it can be a little bit harder to get to. So really consider not just the frequency of use when you're setting up how you want to store items, but also how urgently you need them. This is something that I'm sure I've heard people talk about a little bit, but not nearly enough, and not in such a straightforward way. And we've all heard that we need to declutter. I mean, we all know we need to do this. And we are all familiar with the idea of celebrating our progress with decluttering. There's all sorts of decluttering trackers where you can check off, or you try to do one item a day. I have a decluttering kit in my shop where it's this little notebook, and you can literally keep track of all the items that you've decluttered. It's super exciting, inspirational, motivational, but we need to take it a step further. And this is what a lot of people don't do. We need to be celebrating the things that we don't buy, the clutter that we don't bring in, just as much as the clutter that we're getting rid of. And I would go so far as if you have that little notebook that I'm talking about, and you were tempted to buy something, you might think you would typically buy it, but you chose not to, go ahead and write it down. It counts for me. So be celebrating those things as well. And that will help you really make progress as you are decluttering the items that you don't need, and you're making sure that you're not bringing in additional items that are clutter. I'll just give you one quick example of this. Recently, I was at the store. I saw the cutest dish drying mat. It was adorable. It was on sale. It wasn't very much money. And I actually do dry my dishes to the side of my sink all the time, because I have this thing about not wanting them to get mildewy. Not that that's ever happened, but it's just a fear of mine. I want them to be thoroughly dry. So I want them to air dry. I don't think towel drying is sufficient. And so I would actually use this. I usually put out towels, but here's the deal. I have all matching towels, all the same size. They fold up nicely. They stack nicely in my cabinet. And when I need to dry my dishes, I just place it out on the counter and we're good to go. The drying mat would be an additional item to wash. Do I need to launder it differently? Where would I store it? It's bigger and bulkier and doesn't fold up in quite the same way as the towels. And the towels are serving their function perfectly well. So I chose not to buy it. And so that's something that I celebrated. This one may be a little controversial, but I like to declutter sometimes while I'm dressed up. So a lot of times we're just in our, loungy clothes or whatever, but getting fully dressed makes you feel like you are ready for work. So you're really gonna do this, and you just feel so much more put together. When I'm dressed up, I've got my makeup, my hair is fixed, maybe I'm wearing a dress or something nice, including shoes, because I feel like shoes make me feel like I am really ready to go. I feel like it just puts me in that different state of mind, and I'm able to make better decisions about my clutter. Making it a game can make the decluttering process so much better. So I suggest that you play Declutter Bingo. Just make it a game. I have a bingo card that you can download. Just click the link below and you can go ahead and get one of these for yourself, and it'll just be kind of fun, and try to see if you can fill up the entire bingo card. There are other ways to gamify, but this one is just really simple and fun. It can also be great if you want to get your kids involved and see who can like fill up their bingo card the fastest. And when you download the bingo cards, I have one version for adults and one version for kids. So whether it's your kids or you can use this to make the process a lot more fun. Sticking with the theme of kind of gamifying the process and making it more fun, you could also create a clutter jar for yourself. So what you would do is you would just take a little piece of paper, maybe little index cards, and write down different areas of your home that need decluttering. So I might say junk drawer, bottom drawer of my nightstand. Write all these areas down. I wouldn't write a huge area like an entire room. I would be more specific. Write them down, put them in a jar, and when it's time to declutter, just pull one out of the jar, and whichever one you get, you have to go declutter it. One thing that I have talked about a lot when it comes to decluttering that has helped me a ton is I ask myself, would I keep this item if I were moving? Thinking about what you would do if you were moving was great, but another way to frame that is a little bit different is pretend like you are going on like an extended 3-month vacation or sabbatical somewhere. What is it that you would take with you? Those are the items that you could keep. You could even say, what if I was on a temporary assignment for a year? I mean, people do this. Like, and if you knew like, hey, I'm keeping my house here, I'm just going somewhere for a year, what would you take with you? And those are things that make the cut, and maybe get rid of the rest. Do you really need those things? A great way to get your home decluttered and organized faster is to pretend like either your favorite celebrity or your mother-in-law is coming to visit next week. If they were coming next Monday, what would you be doing? And you would probably be doing it a little bit faster. So just imagining this in your head is going to make you declutter so much faster. You've probably heard of the pretend like company is coming in a few minutes. That's always helpful, but this is kind of taking it a step further. How much can I get done this week if somebody important were coming to visit? This one is really fun. Pretend like you're on one of those home makeover TV shows. I mean, I love watching those HGTV shows. They have some that are like remodeling the home, but they also have some that are like organizing. What if you were on one of those shows? I mean, pretend like you've got a host and you've got the cameras on you. I bet you would make fast decisions, and you would also probably make more ruthless decluttering decisions because you know that there are people watching you. So that's just super fun to imagine that you're on the show. It can even help to narrate as if you were on the show being interviewed, and they're like, why did you decide to let go of that item? And then you can kind of answer the question, and that'll help you to talk through it, and it'll just make it a lot more fun. There's something called the invisible roommate rule. So pretend like you had an invisible roommate who was super picky about clutter, and what areas would bother them the most? What would they dislike the most that you would have to tackle first, and go ahead and tackle those. I would not do this for every single item that I declutter, but if you are struggling to declutter an item, give it a job interview. Like, pretend like you are interviewing it. And I know this is gonna sound silly, but I could be like, hi, Pin, what makes you good for the job of staying in my home? And it would be like, well, I write really nicely. And I would be like, yes, you do. However, what makes you better than the 128 other pins I have in my home that write very nicely? Well, I'm blue. Okay, what do you bring to the table that the 12 other blue pins I have don't? Well, I'm erasable. Oh, good point. Don't have a lot of other erasable pins. Okay, maybe I should keep you. So just literally pretend like you're interviewing it. It makes it more fun. You can also do this with kids because, again, it makes it more fun, and they can play the role of the object. And, you know, it's just a way to make it more fun and kind of think about it differently. Now, the concept of house hushing, I've seen a little bit of buzz about it recently, but I had no idea what it was as of a year or two ago. And you may be in the same boat. I think it originated from the nester. And the concept is that you're trying to hush certain rooms of your house. So you just take everything out. So you just get a laundry basket or a box, and, you know, say it's your kitchen, you take everything off the counters. I think you're also supposed to take like the decor off the wall, like just make it look like you just moved in and nothing's in there. Take it all away and then live with it that way for some period of time. I think it should be at least 24 hours, but you could do it for like a week. And then see how you feel. Do you like this better? Do you like this worse? What do you feel like you want to bring in? And that can just help give you clarity about the space. Most of us enjoy going on vacations, and I enjoy staying in like Airbnbs or hotels. And I think one of the reasons why we enjoy it is when you go into that hotel room or that Airbnb, everything is tidy. There's not a bunch of extra junk. Everything has a place, and that is a really refreshing feeling. So what you can do is pretend like you're turning your home into an Airbnb. What would it look like? What would you have? What would you let go of? How would you set it up? A lot of Airbnbs and hotels are set up for convenience because you want to be able to, and they need to be easily found. So like if they have a Keurig, you need to be able to easily find the little cups that go with it more intuitively. So pretend like you're setting it up as an Airbnb. Before I go, don't forget to go ahead and download that bingo card for yourself. And you may want to go check out my decluttering playlist the next for loads of decluttering inspiration and some more conventional decluttering advice.